Time for Fresh Can News for Thursday, January 3rd, 2019. I'm your armchair news reporter and presenter, Joe Hafner, with you. And it looks like we're going to have cloudy skies breaking up today, and temperatures rebounding back into the middle 40s. First break in quite some time in terms of temperatures, breaking the freezing mark for several days. Clear skies forward tonight, lows in the mid-20s. Even warmer temperatures on tap for tomorrow, lasting into the weekend. At this point, it looks like our next chance for precipitation coming about by Sunday night. Complete details on the forecast coming up after a look at local and regional news of interest. A Marshall, Missouri man who has been arrested and formally charged in connection with a shooting incident left one dead on Saturday, December 29th, in Marshall was due in court yesterday. According to a news release from the Marshall Police Department, at approximately 6:14 that evening of the 29th, officers were called to a disturbance in progress on Viking Lane. Upon arrival, 31-year-old Joshua Charles Smith of Marshall was found to have sustained injuries from an apparent gunshot wound. He was taken to an area hospital for treatment and later pronounced dead. According to online court documents, on December 30th, a warrant was issued for 55-year-old James Scott Miller. He has been charged with a Class A felony for second-degree murder and an unclassified felony for armed criminal action. His bond has been set at $500,000 cash only. Online documents also say that Miller was scheduled to be formally arraigned at 9 o'clock yesterday morning at Saline County Circuit Court. Meanwhile, a Marshall teenager who was arrested and charged with murder in connection with the shooting death of a Sedalia woman about a year ago has a court proceeding scheduled for next week. According to a news release from Pettis County, Sheriff Kevin Bond says that on January 12th of last year, deputies made an arrest in connection with the shooting death of 21-year-old Cassandra L. White at the Western View Estates Trailer Park on Oak Grove Lane in Sedalia on January 9th. Following up on investigative leads, detectives reportedly traveled to Oregon County in southeastern Missouri to recover evidence and arrested 18-year-old Noah A. Kelliker. Online court documents say that Kelliker, who is now 19, is facing a Class A felony for murder in the second degree, Class B and E felonies for unlawful use of a weapon, and an unclassified felony for armed criminal action. Kelliker waived his formal arraignment and entered a plea of not guilty during a hearing on February 5th of last year. A pretrial conference in the matter is scheduled to begin at 1:30 on Monday, January 7th, and a 3-day jury trial is set to begin at 8 a.m. on Wednesday, January 23rd at Pettis County Circuit Court. Authorities say that a drunken driver crashed into a sheriff's deputy's home in southwest Missouri on New Year's Eve. The Greene County Sheriff's Office says in a Facebook post that no one was seriously hurt when the driver drove off the side of the road and smashed into the corner of the home. The driver was under the age of 21 years. Pictures posted online showed a crumpled garage door and debris strewn across the driveway. Post says the deputy's personal motorcycle and patrol car were damaged. Meanwhile, officials with the Adair County Public Library in Kirksville say they are busy getting the estimates to repair the vandalism caused by 19-year-old Aaron Wallace last month. Library Director Jamie Livingston says the library board is hoping to install video cameras in the vulnerable areas of the library and also to ensure the safety of patrons as well as library materials. Aaron Wallace was charged with first-degree property damage recently. Residents notified authorities when they saw Wallace reportedly throwing rocks at a copper statue in front of the library. Wallace also destroyed the Little Free Library that was a Boy Scouts project and stole the books inside the container. A Milan driver was treated at the scene of an accident yesterday afternoon that left him with minor injuries. The Missouri State Highway Patrol says that 53-year-old Sean M. Mozzelli drove his pickup across the center line of Business Highway 5 about a quarter mile south of Milan. His vehicle then went off the left side of the road, hit a road sign before coming to rest next to a fence. The accident happened around 1:45 yesterday. The patrol was assisted by the Sullivan County Sheriff's Department and the Sullivan County Ambulance District. And a Columbia driver was seriously injured yesterday morning when the car she was driving was hit by a semi in a commuter parking lot on the south side of the city. Patrol says that 60-year-old Valerie L. Prather was taken to University Hospital for treatment. The crash occurred around 6:15 yesterday morning. 5th District Representative-elect Louis Riggs says he will replace term-limited Lyndall Shoemaker when the legislative session begins on Wednesday, January 9th. Riggs outlines his focus in the new job.
The major issue that interests me in the position was rural broadband access, which is something I had worked on for a couple of years through Northeast Missouri Development Partnership and Northwest Missouri Roundtable, where we met literally in the middle of the state, identified the issues that were most important to us, and broadband one. Number two wasn't even close. So it's been fun dealing with that, but as I looked at that, there were other things out there that needed attention as well.
Like Shoemaker, Riggs is a Hannibal Republican.
Infrastructure, of course, is something that affects all of us. Having heard folks in our urban regions complain about wetter blacktops and how we need to let those go back to the counties, that was something that did not sit well because our counties don't have the money. And those farm-to-market roads were designated MoDOT responsibility for a reason. It's important that we get our agricultural commodities to market quicker and most efficiently. It's better for the markets. It's better for the state. Agriculture is number one industry in Missouri, and we need to recognize that for what it is, which is an economic engine.
Riggs expands on agriculture's role as the future of the family.
What the average age of Missouri farmer is now 54. So we need to take steps to maximize what we can do with technology. These younger folks are digital natives. They've grown up with GPS and all of that. I want to make sure that we're ahead of the curve on precision agriculture. That's something I also feel very strongly about.
Riggs will represent Shelby, Marion, and Monroe counties. The Republican defeated Hannibal's Joe Freeze for the job. Senator Elizabeth Warren is preparing to bring a populist message to Iowa voters just days after making her first steps toward launching a campaign for president. The Massachusetts Democrat told reporters yesterday she's planning to visit the state with the nation's first presidential caucuses after being sworn in on Thursday to a second Senate term. Warren said that Washington, quote, works great for the wealthy and the well-connected. It needs to work for everybody else, unquote, and vowed to focus on issues like student loans and the cost of getting prescription drugs filled. Warren on Monday announced that she's launching an exploratory committee for U.S. presidency. She's one of what is expected to be a crowded field of Democratic contenders hoping to retake the White House from Republican President Donald J. Trump in 2020. An Eldon, Missouri man was charged on Tuesday after he allegedly shot his girlfriend in the leg while trying to shoot her dog. According to court documents, Thomas J. Stogsdill, Jr. said he, quote, accidentally shot, unquote, his girlfriend on Monday on Sandstone Road. The victim was taken to an area hospital for treatment and told police that she and Stogsdill had been arguing earlier that night about the dog. She told police Stogsdill said she liked her dog more than she liked him and that he was going to shoot her dog. While the victim was outside feeding the dog, Stogsdill allegedly came outside and shot toward her and the dog, striking her in the leg. Stogsdill said he got scared and threw the pistol in the weeds on the property. Stogsdill was arrested and charged with armed criminal action, unlawful use of a weapon, and second-degree domestic assault. A Chillicothe man was formally charged with felonies and was arraigned earlier this week for his alleged involvement in a burglary that occurred last year in Carroll County. According to a probable cause statement, Carroll County deputies spoke with a victim who stated various items were taken from his property in Beauregard, Missouri on September 15th of last year. The victim said his arrowhead collection, firearm, and jewelry set were taken from the residence. The value of all the items were estimated at $4,000. Deputies reportedly conducted a traffic stop a few days prior to receiving the robbery report and spoke with one of the vehicle's occupants, 26-year-old Canaan Bigelow. Bigelow reportedly was in possession of a bag which contained the stolen property, but said the bag belonged to another person who was in the vehicle earlier that day. Bigelow reportedly did not know the name of the person who owned the bag and told deputies they could take it. Online court documents say that Bigelow has been charged with Class D felonies for second-degree burglary and stealing of $750 or more. Bond was originally set at $20,000 cash only. Bigelow entered a plea of not guilty, and his bond was amended to $40,000 cash or surety during his arraignment hearing, which is set for yesterday. His case has been continued with a hearing set for 9 a.m. on Wednesday, January 16th at Carroll County Circuit Court. A Sedalia man has been charged with felonies for allegedly manufacturing methamphetamine at his home in Pettis County. A probable cause statement says Pettis County deputies responded to a report of a possible meth lab at a residence in the 500 block of East 36th Street in Sedalia on December 29th. Deputies spoke with the reporting party, who stated that they noticed a strange odor and possible meth manufacturing materials in a garage on the property. After receiving permission to check the property, deputies noticed containers of various liquids commonly used in the manufacturing of meth within the garage. One container reportedly tested positive for methamphetamine, which weighed nearly 90 grams. Online court documents say that 28-year-old Robert Bemis has been charged with a Class B felony for trafficking drugs or attempt in the first degree, and a Class E felony for unlawful use, or for unlawful possession of drug paraphernalia. Bond was set at $100,000 cash or surety. Bemis was formally arraigned yesterday, and his case was continued for a hearing set for 1:30 the afternoon of January 8th at Pettis County Circuit Court. Finally in the news today, University of Missouri's Extension's online Master Gardener classes start again later this month. Associate Professor of Horticulture Dave Trinkline says a number of topics will be covered over the 14-week course.
First of all, how plants grow, and then we deal with soils, vegetables, fruit, lawn, woody ornamentals, herbaceous ornamentals, pruning, pesticides, so forth and so on.
The course is $175, and Master Gardeners also have to do 30 hours of community service.
It might be in the form of workshops that they hold. Perhaps they have an answer booth at a county fair. Some cities have answer lines where people can call in to an 800 number, and there's a master gardener there to answer questions, but nonetheless, it helps extend the reach of the extension service.
Residents can also take the course just for their own personal enrichment. That cost is $325. To register, go to the Missouri Department of, check that at the University Extension website. Registration deadline is January 11th. Online classes begin on the 20th. Turning our attention to the weather forecast, calling for sunny skies this Thursday. Afternoon highs topping out to the mid-40s. Southwest winds at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. Clear skies Thursday night. Lows in the mid-20s with west to southwesterly winds at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. Even warmer temperatures on tap for tomorrow. Under sunny skies, highs in the upper 40s, lows in the upper 20s. West to southwesterly winds at 5 to 10. And then for Saturday and Sunday, sunny skies throughout the day, highs in the low 50s, lows in the upper 20s to lower 30s. By Sunday night, clouds returning, along with it a 40% chance of rain, lows around 40 degrees. And then for Monday, we'll see cloudy skies with periods of rain, highs in the lower 50s, a 30% chance of rain for Monday night, lows in the lower 30s, a little bit cooler on Tuesday, and Wednesday, highs in the low to mid-40s, lows in the mid-20s. That's been a check of regional and local news from the Show Me State on this edition of Fresh Can News for the 3rd day of January 2019. I'm Joe Hafter reporting. My time is up. I thank you for yours.